Hello and welcome to a Sunday Nothing Cast. It is I, your host, J.Ishiro, author and alien in a human suit. With me, as always, is the ever lovely and ever buxotic.
Oh, buxotic.
Yes, buxotic.
I like that. Is it like instead of tilting at windmills, you're tilting at mountains?
Jiggling at mountains.
Jiggling at mountains. Hi everyone, it's Kat, the night editor.
And we thought, after discussing the shit show that is the He-Man Revelation, the revelation being this not about He-Man.
Yeah.
We figured, let's talk about deconstruction of superheroes as well as the reconstructing of them. And, why do deconstructed superheroes utterly suck?
Because it's easy to take something apart. It's when you put it back together again. Yeah, that's the challenge.
Yes, it is. And, it's weird because really Alan Moore is, with The Watchmen was thoroughly responsible. We know this. And you know what? Before we can continue any further, I've got to make sure we really have nobody listening because I kind of find that hard to believe. Let me just to make sure that our broadcast hasn't been cut.
Okay.
No, that happens.
Yeah, that does happen.
I'll start a broadcast, and I think, it says it's still recording. But, okay, it appears we're live right now with, and it says, okay. So, okay. Anyway.
And thank you everyone who just gave us thumbs up. You are awesome.
But
Fizz Chozo.
Oh.
Cool. He did a live stream about evil Superman. Which evil Superman?
Yeah, which evil Superman?
Are you talking...
Are we talking the real evil Superman? Being, I suppose, the Zack Snyder one?
Yeah, there's the Zack Snyder one.
Or are you talking about Superman... Was it Superman 2?
Well Superman...
Or was Superman 3, was it? The one they put the weird fake an asshole.
Oh God, yeah. You know what? I actually haven't seen that film.
It's a bad film. I mean, it really is. It is a bad film.
But I've seen the one with the Sun Man way too much.
That's a special kind of pain. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Well, what was that? Canon film?
Yeah.
They sold that to television cheap, so it was on a constant loop.
But, are we talking the actual evil Superman? Are we talking the crime syndicate Superman?
There's Supreme.
Or are we talking all the knockoff Supermans like Homelander?
Like Homelander. Well, and then there's the Ruski Superman. What if he landed in Russia?
That was actually a decent story.
Mm-hmm. Was it Red Sun?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's. We thought we would talk about deconstructing superheroes and why it sucks. Because as we've seen with He-Man Revelation, it sucks.
They didn't even deconstruct. They just full-on killed him.
Well, supposedly he comes back at the end as Adam.
I don't give a shit. I don't fucking give a shit. They fucking killed He-Man in his own show.
Yeah.
To see, is that really, She-Ra started off as her own person, had her own show from day one, basically. I think it started off as a crossover, but that crossover was to get people into the idea of, hey, there's this new character here, and it's She-Ra, and damn it, she had her own mythology, she was her own person, she had her own morals, she had her own backstory. In fact, if you think about it, she had it way fucking tougher than Prince Adam ever fucking did. And
I don't know. Adam had a special pain in him that he could never come out of the closet.
I don't know. Did you see all the women that poor Adora had to grow up around? Catra and...
Oh, you mean she was suffering in estrogen bitch city?
Yes.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is far worse.
And then she finds out that the only eligible bachelor is gay.
Was Bo the only dude in the group?
He was the only one we ever saw that she spent a lot of time with.
Well, our listeners were arguing Bo was actually bisexual, so.
Uh,
Autumn?
I would think yes, and I'd say he still would rather go shopping with Adora than date her.
That fabulous heart on his chest.
Yes.
But yeah, the thing is, we've been dealing with deconstructed superheroes since the 80s. So we're talking 40 years of this shit. We had 40 years of superhero deconstruction.
I hate that term, deconstruction.
Well, it's a postmodernist term.
I hate that term.
Postmodernism is all about deconstructing systems.
No. You can rearrange, you can play games with, you can play the what if game.
What you're saying is deconstruction just means burning it down.
Yes.
Yeah, because they don't ever put it back together again, do they?
No, they never put it back together again. It's like, look what happens when we take it apart. Everything falls apart. It's like, yeah, no shit. Now fix it. Well, that's hard. That's not my department.
Look, we went to school and learned about postmodernism. We don't know how to actually put anything together.
No. Shit.
They went to school to learn how to speak Wakandan.
Exactly. William, speaking of deconstructed superheroes, if you want to know more about He-Man and its toy line, check out Spectre Collector. He was the product manager of the Matu Classics for the first 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. Actually, we watched an incredible documentary on the creation of Masters in the Universe.
Yeah, the documentary was called The Power of Grayskull, I believe.
I think so, yeah. It was on Amazon. For all of $2. And actually, I would say it was well worth it.
Yeah, it was great.
Cesario. And it's Karen. Wow.
Okay, hold on. I'm adding that to my list of notes.
Can you put that on a shirt?
That's not a bad idea.
Do in that font, it's Karen and the Mistresses of Missandei. I love that.
No, there's a Kami Slayer Angel that they have that her nemesis be an e-thought communist.
Oh.
One of these OnlyFan girls, right? I think this would be another great nemesis, would be Karen and the Mistresses of Missandei.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I mean, we're even dealing now with a deconstruction of the fucking Powerpuff Girls, where they've been relaunched as these apparently the script that there is the worst dialogue you had ever heard.
I did not know there was a live action. I thought they had abandoned the property after they thoroughly fucked up the last attempt.
Well, if they when it gets down to deconstruction, sometimes they just have to tear the same rubble.
Well, are they? I mean, from my understanding, their last attempt at doing the show, they threw all of the classic heroes out the window because none of them were woke. You know, him especially. They especially got rid of him. You'd think that they would keep Sedusa, but apparently not.
Let me put it this way: in the reboot live action, I think it was Blossom killed somebody.
Holy shit!
Right, and Buttercup in the first episode apparently is full on having sex, and JoJo is an evil politician.
Is he still a monkey?
No. What? Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking bad thoughts. I'm thinking very bad thoughts.
We're entering I'm not Starfire territory here.
I'm thinking very bad thoughts.
Oh, stuff you can't say on air. It's so bad.
You are all my friends and I love you all, but I can't be that open with the bad thoughts that are in my head.
Oh, it'd probably be great for ratings, but is this like we'd get a channel strike?
There are certain caricatures of Barack Obama that make him look like a certain type of animal.
So, moving on. Let's, I didn't hear that, and neither did YouTube.
Michael Connor, the best deconstructed superhero story was Squadron Supreme, and it ended with hope for the future.
Which means they reconstructed at the end.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, I contend that The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller really should not be tossed in the deconstructed heroes category. I really don't.
I wouldn't count it as.
I know that it's always said in the same breath with The Watchmen, but the thing, deconstruction seems to be, okay, what if superheroes acted like fucked up celebrities and perverts and sickos?
Like The Boys.
Yeah, that seems to be the one note.
Mm-hmm.
What if superheroes were assholes or psychopaths?
Yeah.
And it really hasn't gone beyond that, except I guess now the new deconstructed superheroes are, what if they were transsexual narcissists?
Yeah.
But the Batman asshole. Really,
No.
it's Batman realizes he's getting old, and that he's not going to be around forever, and it starts with him kind of with a death wish. He wants to go out in a blaze of glory. He doesn't want to just grow old.
Mm-hmm.
And after failing to kill himself doing risky things, and he starts taking care of unfinished business. He's trying to tie up all his loose ends. And it just so happens he's in Gotham when they need him most. And when that apocalypse happens, it isn't one of these, oh, Batman's an asshole and lets people suffer, or Batman's the cause of it, or any of that. No. Batman rallies the misguided youth, the gangs that he'd been fighting, and they ride in to save the day. And he realizes, no, his new role in life is as a mentor, teaching and guiding the next generation.
And that definitely came through in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, and that is not a deconstruction.
No,
that's a hero dealing with death.
That's a new change or evolution of a character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure at that point anyone had really done a long story about a established, well-known superhero realizing he isn't going to be around forever, that he isn't immortal. That
no, I don't think so. I mean, the only other one I can think of, I know came way after, and that was a Fury. But and even though that
was a bit gratuitous.
It was a bit gratuitous, but the ending stuck with me. Was him realizing that all of these young people that he went into, the fight one last time with, they're all dead.
Right.
And him realizing what his legacy truly was sending young people to die. And full grasping what he'd been doing. I thought it was genius. It wasn't a deconstruction, it was more somebody really having to take a hard look at what the life was. Michael, seeing memes of He-Man with the GameStop tyranny head on He-Man's body. Tranny, sorry.
That's He-Man.
He-Man. Well, that goes along with, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to bring it up again. I saw the title card for Critical Drinker reviewing the new He-Man, and I saw the image, and I'm like, oh, wow, what a shock. Another effeminate version of what used to be a great hero. Great. And then I found out later that wasn't He-Man, that was Tila. And I had to actually pull up the full picture, not in his title card, to say, okay, does she actually have tits? Did I miss that? I'm like, no, she doesn't have tits. Neither does Evelyn. None of them do. And damn, the muscles on Evelyn. Fuck. Like, are you sure this isn't a dude in a dress? William, what I heard in the Powerpuff Girl live action, Blossom killed Mojo and his son is now the mayor.
Oh, you're right. That's what it was. Yeah. Does that not sound retarded? I'm actually highly considering throwing elements of that script. I'm going to go download it into Commie Slayer.
Why would Blossom kill Mojo? I have so many questions.
Oh, and Dr. Utonium actually was an asshole.
No.
Yeah, it's just you fuck these people. Seriously, fuck these people.
Like, okay, I guess this is a window into what sick, sad world they live in.
Yeah.
Being realistic isn't always a great outlook in life, but current media makes me hate this world.
Well, exactly. You know, our day-to-day lives are difficult, and we go through very difficult periods in history. I mean, this is by no means as what's going on right now, as bad as it is, the country has been in places just as bad before. And a lot of people don't realize, you know, most of these superheroes, this is right around or right after the Great Depression and going into World War II. This generation had been through fucking hell by this point. And where, you know, they wanted hope in their media. I mean, sure, you had your gritty noir and some of your really brutal pulp stories, if that's what you needed. But at the same time, they also had heroes because it helped them process the tough business of living day to day. And that, you know, people always said stuff like, okay, well, why doesn't Superman just, you know, stop, you know, make sure that we have world peace if he's so powerful? Because he's a symbolic character. He's going to fight symbols of the things that trouble us. You know, he's not going to go just gather all the nukes and throw them into the sun. Oh, wait, that was a shitty movie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, if you really feel that way, random person, do you really want to go to your media and feel like shit some more? Or do you want something that actually kind of inspires you and reminds you of what it means to be human?
I was bouncing ideas off Ishii last night, and I have a theory that this new version of He-Man, it's, you had the money people saying, okay, we have this property, it's coming up on 10 years since we last used it, you know, it's high time to drag it out again and you know, see if we can't beat some life back into the IP. And plus people love reboots, so let's drag it out, but we got to work in this woke shit. And the creative team who was given this task looked at that and said, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give them exactly what they want. And it is so bad and so awful.
We don't want our names on it.
Yeah, that they don't want their names on it, but it's going to crash so hard that fans like you and me are going to go run to purchase the new DVDs and the like graphic novels and everything like that of the era that we loved, because you know, 40 years is coming up. The 40-year anniversary is coming up. You know that shit's going to be hitting the shelves soon if it hasn't already been doing so. This is all an elaborate ploy to get us to buy all the stuff that we already have.
I got to admit that it seems like with the shitty version coming out, everyone's kind of clinging to how good the old stuff was.
Yeah.
And, you know, it almost makes sense.
Doesn't it?
Especially with the fact that Kevin Smith does seem to have been set up to take the fall.
Guy, you know, to you know, be the mouthpiece to say whatever they tell him to say and to take the blame before anybody has seen anything.
I hear he's gotten really emotional about us not liking his He-Man or She-Mail.
Should I mail him a box of tissues?
No, actually, what I think you need to do is get a couple of those little bouncy balls from the supermarket and stick them in a box with the note that says, you lost these back in 1998. Here, you need them.
Nice.
I found these sitting on Hollywood Boulevard in a bum's mouth.
Jason Mewes pawned them.
Yeah, Jason Mewes bought just balls for heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's deconstruct Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. How about that? See how they like it.
Well, we are talking the guy who decided to make Alanis Morissette God and had a movie about a 16-year-old gang banging a bunch of guys and filming it.
Moving on.
Forgot about that, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, look, Clerks was entertaining. I think it was way, way overhyped, but it was entertaining. Chasing Amy, they had some funny moments. Yeah, that's it. Dogma was kind of stupid.
To be honest, I've only ever seen Mallrats and Dogma and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which was absolutely hysterical when Mark Hamill showed up.
Yeah, that was probably the only good moment in the thing.
Yeah.
That and the fact that there were scenes in that film that were literally ripped straight, word for word, out of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yes, it did.
And it's like, dude, you just plagiarized that scene.
Like, why did you do that?
Because he's a dick.
Yeah, because he's a dick, and Jonan isn't going to say anything, and even if Jonan did, he doesn't have the clout. Victoria, sorry if it's inappropriate, but in your old stream, you mentioned that everyone has a rape fantasy. So what is yours?
I can answer this.
Oh my God.
I can answer this. She has this fantasy where, it's a normal day. She's gotten done with work and she sits down and she's had a couple glasses of wine. And then suddenly there's this bright light outside the window.
It's whiskey.
Whiskey, yeah.
Whiskey.
And the room's vibrating and all the electrical stuff starts to black out. and then suddenly she's paralyzed and the beam starts transporting her up through the window into the saucer. And there's these little gray with the probulator. Okay, give a serious answer.
Oh, gee. I will be totally honest. It has changed over the years.
Is it Conan?
Well, pretty much. It's basically I take one of these thought bitches and I make her humble.
Oh, so you'd be doing the raping?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think that's what she meant, but okay.
I don't. No. The idea of actually being raped makes me want to vomit. But me actually, wiping the shit-eating grin off of these bitches' face and, making them feel the back of my pimping hand, that makes me smile. And no, I will not be gentle, and there will not be lube.
Don't you have like a Boma Vegeta fantasy somewhere?
Actually, I don't. I like Boma as a character, but I'm not really enamored with her.
She's just funny.
Yeah, she's funny. She's great. She's there. She's cool. I think she did the best job that she possibly could being a mom. Overall, Boma's a good character. I'm not enamored with her. So, Victoria, you keeping roboting? We are roboting. Michael, a green arrow hanging upside down, holding bow in one hand and drawing the bow with his teeth was epic.
That's in Dark Knight Returns. Okay, if we're roboting, huge apologies out there. There is flooding right now.
Actually, yes. On my way home, I was 2 blocks away from home, and I got one of those emergency alerts, and they're basically saying the entire valley has a flood warning.
I'm not concerned here, but it is messing up our internet connection.
T-Man!
Oh,
wow.
As T injections? Yeah, I could see that.
Wow.
So, yeah, anyway, getting back to the concept of deconstructing the heroes. We've seen this over and over again. And somewhere along the lines, Somebody thought it was deep and clever to portray superheroes as assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And 40 years of this, no, we're bored. It's not creative. It's not deep. It's not interesting. And, even at the time, as groundbreaking as Watchmen was, it was in its own isolated universe. When the story was done, the story was done. Doing it with the established characters over and over and over again, no.
Well, I don't consider it a deconstruction. I consider it more a what if, but I really liked the idea of what if Clark Kent decided, you know what? Killing people is the answer. And he truly believes he is doing the right thing. That is interesting.
That might have been done. I don't know.
No, that was done.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was done.
In
various books.
Oh, okay.
That was in Elseworlds. And it was, what if Superman isn't afraid to kill? It's like, that's interesting. Where he realizes, you know what?
But you can only tell that story once.
Well, it was an Elseworld.
Yeah.
But I thought, that wasn't a deconstruction. That was a what if. And I liked that. LK, yep, blame it on Alan Moore. He let loose generations of assholes who have tried to follow him and don't have his talent or skill.
Yep. And, Alan Moore was the original smelly hippie postmodernist douche whose leftist politics have not left 1981. And he's still functioning as if it's 81. And, of course, with the amount of drugs he does, you might actually think it's 81. Our president keeps admitting he's a vampire, denying that he drinks blood and telling people that he's 150 years old.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Alan Moore's a vampire.
No. He's the twin brother of Rasputin.
Oh, the one who was less cool?
Yes, he was the less cool
brother
of the brothers.
the nerdy one that was buying comics while
exactly
his brother was fucking up Russia.
Exactly. Look at all my long boxes, brother. And it's like, yeah, I got the Tsar wrapped around my finger.
I did his wife.
And
his sister. No. I don't know if he had a sister. Anyway.
Fizz Chozo. Garth Ennis hates superheroes, so that's why he keeps creating the Pro and the Boys.
And, the Boys was okay for like 4 issues, but the joke got old.
Well, that and half the cast weren't characters.
Yeah.
They were punchlines.
Right. And how many times can you tell the same joke? Oh, they're degenerates.
Mm-hmm.
I can just read the tabloids about Hollywood to hear the exact same debauchery.
Actually, yes.
How relevant is The Boys when there was Epstein Island and Weinstein?
Yeah.
In Hollywood?
Mm-hmm.
Really? When you got the Clintons, who needs the...
Yeah.
It just doesn't really land anymore.
Underworld Dream. Can we deconstruct the leftist hero Marxist?
Sure, why not? Actually, I guess Commie Slayer Angel would be a parody, not really deconstruction, would it?
It would be a parody, or it would point out points and bring it to the forefront. So it's not really...
Now,
I wouldn't call it a deconstruction.
Really, I would say at this point what we need is a reconstruction of the hero, but frankly, here's my idea. Dark Knight Returns did a little bit of this, but I want to push it a bit further. The concept of not deconstructing the hero, no, returning those heroes back to the paragons and redemptive heroes that they've always been.
Mm-hmm.
Return to the symbols that made them what they are and what they represent, and deconstruct our world. Stop shitting on their ideals and deconstruct the world we have.
Yeah.
Seriously, what if you throw in a Batman, a Superman, a Wonder Woman who is thoroughly and completely morally correct in their actions? Then you put them in a situation where all the cities are on fire because of BLM. They would instantly be vilified for stopping it.
Mm-hmm. They would.
There's your story. Deconstruct the world we live in.
Yeah.
That's what that's where it's fucked up.
You know, I actually don't think that Marston's Wonder Woman would be too thrilled with all the Karens.
Oh no, she'd be spanking them.
Yes.
Absolutely spanking them.
Tweedle, Superman is a beacon of hope.
And should always be.
Yes. Star Sledge Player. I quit reading X-Men when Cyclops got turned into the equivalent of a mafia don putting hits out on people. What?
Yeah. Well,
okay, yeah, I had quit.
I am in agreement. I'm hearing more and more people say this, and I'm in thorough agreement on this. Canon ended in 2010. Or actually, it ended, 2010 is when canon ended.
Let's say, to be safe, 2010. I know most people say 2009.
Well, my opinion in Marvel is, or the X-Men at least, canon ended in 1990, but I'm sticking with it. I mean, House of M, are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? House of M, that's the best you can give us?
I will argue that the main storyline for Civil War was good.
Yeah, oh yeah, Civil War was almost justified.
Yeah, almost justified. And I did legitimately enjoy Winter Soldier.
Oh, the movie?
No, the story.
I never. You read the original?
Yes.
Where? I don't remember us owning it.
I flipped through it in the store.
Okay, well, we did spend that much time in the store. Is this while I was up there talking to Sarah?
Yeah.
And Andrew behind the counter, and you're in the corner there reading the books?
Yeah. Because I didn't have
You're the reason the Indian industry is failing. You didn't spend the money, you little shit.
I bought the movie.
Yeah.
No, wait, I didn't. I got that as a gift.
Do you remember the signs that used to be in the store that said, what was it? No reading?
Yeah, I remember that. But hey, Andrew let me. He actually knew I was doing it.
Okay.
So, Alan Moore is a Marxist asshole.
Who pretends to be an anarchist.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a millionaire.
Oh, I thought he pretends to be a guru.
That too. He pretends to be a fucking wizard. I think really what he just needs to admit is that he's cosplaying a homeless man. What?
No, I just got this wonderful vision of like, what if we were to redo Hell House, but it's Alan Moore's house after he's died?
There was a character in the Judge Dredd universe. I can't remember I think his name was Filthy Frank. Actually,
yeah,
I could be wrong. His name was Frank. I don't remember what his first name was.
Yeah,
and he was an informant, but he was a rambling homeless man, and everything he said made absolutely no sense. And he was supposed to be schizophrenic.
Mm-hmm.
And the writer flat out said, "Oh yeah, I based it on Alan Moore."
Oh, that's hysterical.
Including his look.
Wow.
Yeah, it was with Judge Nixon.
Oh, okay.
The Undercover.
Yeah.
Back when 2080 was good. The
rough and tumble one. Unqualified. I like the British artists from the 80s. Not a big fan of the British writers.
Well, some of them were very talented. Too much pretension. Seriously, far too much pretension.
Well, they are Brit. Sorry, I say that with all the love.
Alan Moore is the Antichrist of comics. I hate the Antichrist. Yeah, but you got to throw in there bearded, smelly, homeless Antichrist. I mean, never trust anyone who says they're a Marxist or an anarchist who's a millionaire. Seriously.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That means they don't mean it.
Actually, what got me was how many people would lick the bottom of Alan Moore's boots, yet would then say what a horrible person Dave Sim was.
Yeah. At least Sim was honest.
Yeah, Sim was honest.
Remember the time we were at the convention and we were running I think this was a CGS show. And we're selling our books, and that one guy comes up and he's, yeah, I was hanging out with Alan Moore, and he got so mad at an email he threw it across the room, and then he bought me a new one, and it's like,
Yeah, that guy.
that guy was, what the hell are you talking about?
What the?
Yeah, I haven't been hired for it yet, but I'm gonna make Aquaman the best character. Remember that?
I do remember that. Oh my god. I do remember that. That was an interesting show because I think that was the same show that your stalker showed up. The guy who actually like tracked down your phone number, and he was telling you about his alien conspiracies. And I think that was the same show.
Yeah, go figure. He approached the human or the alien in the human suit,
yes,
to write his alien book.
Yes,
to break to the world that no, the Japanese had been set up, that it was actually aliens that bombed Pearl Harbor. They had been framed.
Yes.
And he was serious.
He was serious. Now also think about that sentence, that the Japanese were framed for bombing Pearl Harbor. Think about that.
And then he told me it's going to be a hit. You should do it, and then we'll go on George Norrie.
Yes. It's like, really, your bar of success is George Norrie.
I'll be honest with you, I'd do it if I could. If I had the offer to go on the Dreamland show, or what was it, Art Bell back when he was alive?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Do it.
Well, Art Bell was a showman. He knew how to put on a show. He could get anybody to sound interesting, pretty much. And if he couldn't, he did a brilliant way of getting you off to get somebody else on. But no, he was a showman. Michael, Invincible does the reconstruction as the villain, with Hope being the next generation. Nice. That's interesting that you say that, because I've heard it's been pretty split 50-50, those that liked and those that didn't like Invincible that I've talked to. So that's interesting that you bring that up. Passerby, to LK, Alan Moore, Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, and Mark Miller.
Okay, well, speaking of Mark Miller, let's get back to Civil War. Civil War would have thoroughly justified itself and all the hype, because a lot of it was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Civil War arc went to shit when they basically had implemented a war. All this stuff had happened. They implied the world had changed, and literally, within a month, everything was back to normal.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it was Planet Hulk or some shit like that.
It was Planet Hulk, and then from there you went into House M, and then from there
if they had stuck with a post-Civil War world, that would have revitalized the whole thing. Mm-hmm. That would have been interesting. They didn't have the fucking balls to do it.
No, they didn't.
Or the wherewithal, or the organization. I don't know. It was obvious they were chicken shit.
Well, that was also about the time that they shut down the Ultimates line.
Yeah.
Because it was starting to have the same problems as main continuity. Larry, I think Watchmen is unrealistic. We wouldn't react that way to aliens. People would worship them like an Independence Day. Lefties would say we deserve it and say we're the bad guys. All sorts of shit. Actually, I did like that about Independence Day, how people were reacting. I mean, I think they should have showed more of, like, Hail Bop.
Suicide cults?
Suicide cults or other things like that. Or even, well, let's be honest, militia groups gearing up. I think they should have done that. But I did like how they showed all the dumb people deciding, I'm going to put myself in the line of fire. Yeah.
Well, let's say, okay, aliens, he fakes it and makes it look like aliens obliterate New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Kill millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
What you would have is you would have a very quick dividing. In times of extreme crisis, the masks come off. You would see the leftists who say we deserve it. You would have the people who just went nutso and started worshiping the aliens. And then you'd have people who band together. Which ones do you think would survive?
Yeah.
Seriously. And that's what happens in those situations, is eventually there's a culling. And let's say the people who say, oh, we deserved it, well, they're pretty much going to get roasted.
So basically, you're saying Mars Attacks was predicting the future.
Yeah.
Remember, the one woman was a hippie, and she's like, "Oh, there are space brothers. They've come to save us." And then she witnesses them slaughtering everybody.
Yeah.
And she keeps trying to think that maybe we can be friends. And finally, she too had to realize, no, they're assholes.
Exactly. Exactly. And we've seen this throughout history over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Unqualified. Kami Slayer Angel should be a parody with a little bit of seriousness, like the anime Slayers or DBZ Abridged.
I was thinking DBZ Abridged.
Mm-hmm.
But with gratuitous violence. I mean, over the top, just crazy over the top violence.
Nice.
Okay, let's see. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason we can't reconstruct our heroes. In fact, the world's screaming for it. We're craving it.
But they don't want to, because then they have to look in the mirror too.
Yeah, and let's face it, the people writing this stuff are either morally bankrupt or downright evil.
Mm-hmm.
They were people who worship nihilism or extreme narcissism, or to be upfront, a sort of what do you call evil when you're willing to torch civilization because you're comfortable?
Yeah.
You're willing to see hundreds of thousands of people.
You have no principles.
Yeah.
It's just pure selfishness. I mean, it's one thing if I'm not saying that it's right, because it's not, but if you torch thousands of people, but you truly believe you're doing the right thing, you have principles.
They're just wrong.
They're wrong, but you have principles.
And yeah, exactly. And if you look at what we have in Hollywood, is we have a lot of people who, I'm just going to flat out say, are so thoroughly debaucherous, self-centered, and amoral. They're evil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see villain worship.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you've got
puppy killer, the hero.
Yeah, they made a puppy killer the fucking hero. Oh, who do you think wrote this? People who are fucking evil.
Who kill puppies?
Let's say up front, look, these are the same people that were going to vacations to bang kids on Epstein Island, okay?
Yeah.
Look, we've got to stop saying, oh, the villain thinks they're doing the right thing. The villain's the hero in his own story. That's not always true, and that we've got to get away from that weird assumption. There are plenty of people in history who were doing it because they knew it was wrong. They got off on it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no shortage of people throughout history. Most African warlords are like that.
Yeah.
There's huge chunks of, Liberia that have people like that. So the idea that every villain thinks they're doing the right thing isn't true.
No.
I mean, villains who think they're doing the right thing are fascinating, but I think it's part of the first world condition of living so comfortably that you think you can actually fool yourself into thinking there isn't evil.
Well, I think that's what makes the Heath Ledger version of the Joker and Joker. God, I can't remember the actor's name.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, both of them interesting portrayals, because you want a society getting a hard look in the mirror. It's those two portrayals of the Joker.
Well, the Joker, the film with
Mm-hmm.
Joaquin Phoenix, is essentially the story of every fucking school shooter.
Yes, actually, yes.
Okay, that's essentially society failed him.
Mm-hmm.
Ledger is a nihilist.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He is a nihilist who believes in nothing. He enjoys chaos.
Yeah. Right down to the fact that he has a literal pile of money that he sets on fire because it means nothing to him.
But, I've brought this up in the past. There are African warlords in Nigeria, in the northern section.
Yeah.
Where they will go down to town and they will purposely take all the boys and force them to rape their mom and then kill her and eat her. And then they take all the ones who don't agree, wrap them up in barbed wire and set them on fire and make the town watch. You cannot tell me that the person who's and before battles, they eat people and eat their hearts to take their power.
Yeah.
You can't tell me the person making these orders thinks he's a good guy.
No.
You've got a real leap when you know, oh, well, that he's the hero in his mind. No, there are people who just get off on power and cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Hollywood doesn't like that. It makes them very uncomfortable because they would have to admit to themselves they're horrible people.
Yeah.
Let's see. I agree, Unqualified.
Any X book after 91 is fanfic in my book, but I'm pretty extreme there. So basically, if Claremont's name isn't on it, it's not. Fizz Chozo. I thought of making a comic book about an aspirational superhero who is trying to be torn down by an evil wizard Marxist.
Who smells bad. Yeah, I think you should do that. Honestly, I really do. Another thing I really want you guys to do is start sending suggestions to me about what's good to read. Modern stuff, comics, novels, and I'll start doing shout outs because, we've got to start getting the word out of what's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see.
Michael Connor, Spider-Man would never have revealed his identity. Being said, J. Jonah Jameson's reaction was priceless.
What's kind of funny is finding out that J. Jonah Jameson was a parody of Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And Jameson has a Hitler stash.
Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of like, well, I guess it says what the writers and artists thought of you, Stan.
Humble Marty, Alan Moore, the hobo Antichrist? Unqualified to LK. Dude, John Byrne is an asshole, but he is a based and entertaining asshole.
Yeah, I'll agree. He's got one hell of a sense of humor. There's a shirt for you. Never trust a commie.
Yes.
But read that one.
Postmodernist or Marxists as they are living in delusional world. Yep.
Yes. Okay, let's scan the comments because we are going to, we got about, maybe 12 minutes left of the show before we go do dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, get your comments in now. And I know that we were going to talk a bit more about reconstructing heroes, but we didn't really go down that path much.
Owen says, this is why I agreed with Rorschach exposing the lie that Oz made.
And again, the fun thing about Rorschach is that Alan Moore created him as a parody of Ditko's Mr. A and the Question.
Mm-hmm.
He was a parody and an attack on Ditko's objectivist libertarianism views. And Moore is kind of horrified that everyone saw him as the only honest man in the story and the only hero because he had a code and he followed it.
Mm-hmm.
And he told the truth.
Yeah, he had integrity.
In Moore's mind, Ozymandias was the hero.
That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, sure it does.
Larry, yeah, we won't get a proper deconstruction because it requires self-awareness that Hollywood doesn't have. I'm sorry, I'm dense at the moment and I don't know what that stands for. Its self-awareness boils down to breaking the fourth wall and subverting your expectations.
Well, there's also the ship of being a complete fucking loser with I'm not Starfire.
Yeah.
Or also wacky pointlessness like Squirrel Girl. Or fat jokes like Faith.
You want to get me on a rant?
Yeah. We got a little bit of time. Let's get on a rant about Faith. Faith, the fatty superhero.
No, Faith legitimately pisses me off. Yeah.
Why does Faith piss you off?
Because they say, oh, we need a hero who's body positive. We need a hero who represents us. We need somebody who we can relate to, and other things like that. And like, okay, fine. You know what? I actually totally agree. And when I was younger, I watched that Stan Lee, not really reality game show thing. Do you remember the one? It's like Next Greatest Hero or something like that.
Oh God.
And the funny thing
Was
about
it what, Big Mama?
Yeah,
Or-
Big Mama. Big Mama was one of the
With
characters.
what was her power? She had donuts.
She threw donuts. That was her power. She had a pink Wonder Woman outfit and she threw donuts. And I really was disappointed by that. I mean, I knew these characters, they themselves didn't come up with these characters, they were given to them. And then it really was a popularity contest. And strangely enough, the Boy Scout won. But and then I'd see Big Mama doing the convention circuit because we'd go to a show.
Oh yeah,
she'd
she
be
was
there.
everywhere.
Yeah, she was all over the place.
And yeah, she really was eating those donuts constantly.
And she was. But you know what? I thought it was sad that she, because of her body type and the weapons that she was using, she has instantly become a fat joke. And you could tell it really bothered this actress that she had to play that up, that she was eating all the time or that she threw donuts. And she just stopped bringing it up when people would talk with her. In
Well,
fact,
then why did she take the role?
She got paid.
Oh.
And I actually, the last two conventions I saw her at, she stopped wearing the donuts. She was just wearing the pink Wonder Woman outfit. And it's like some people knew who she was, and other people thought, oh, she's cosplaying as Wonder Woman, and she got to take pictures as Wonder Woman. And it made me kind of sad that she got turned into a fat joke. So when I heard that they were going to do this body positive faith, I'll be honest, I had some hope, not high hopes. I was legitimately hoping that they would look past the body type, which they kept saying that they wanted to do, and show that a hero could be more than just body size, because even though I'm not now, I did used to be a fat kid. And the idea of showing that body type doesn't make you good or bad, or denote whether or not you can be a hero, that meant something. X-Men would show that. At least the X-Men did show that to some extent. But Faith, I was really hoping, especially because it's like, okay, people, you keep bitching. Now the ball's in your court. You got to bring it. And fuck me if she wasn't a fat joke, and has been ever since. And they can't fucking seem to make her not the fat joke. And it really pissed me off when I realized that not only is she the fat joke, she is the funny fat best friend who can commiserate with you, and you can pour your heart out and say how tough life is and all this other stuff, and she will eat donuts with you, and you can feel good about yourself because you're having that donut because you're not as fat as her. So it's okay for you to have the one donut while you're bitching about how you had a fight with your boyfriend that you're gonna still go back to, even though you fight with him every other weekend. That's the mentality of Faith. Is she is the fat best friend to make you feel better about yourself, and that's why I'm pissed about her. Squirrel Girl. She's a one
Annoyance.
note, an annoyance and one note joke. This I'm not Starfire. That's a self-insert. That's somebody who apparently therapy wasn't enough. They have to vomit out their problems on the rest of the world and actually expect us to pay them to listen to it. But Faith really had the opportunity to be something, and fuck them.
I think that is a great ending point, although Trenton has
Trenton says, "Hey Trenton, I'll bring some of the indie comics I have for you to read and review if you want. Sorry I didn't come down this weekend, but I got sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I've been on antibiotics all week. Oh, that sucks.
It would have been great to see you, Trenton, but yeah, get better. And by the way, look, there's flooding right now. I don't know how easy that drive would have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want you to drive in all of this.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. Kat and I are going to get some dinner now.
Mhm.
And tomorrow, Janelle, I think Unqualified's joining us. I don't recall.
Oh, very cool.
And
What are you guys talking about, or do you know yet?
Dune,
Oh,
the good and the bad.
I can join on that.
We're going to talk about Dune, the good, the bad, and the Brian Herbert.
You know, drugs and big worms.
Well, there's going to be some focus on the new books as well.
Yeah, you guys can't see my face.
Yeah.
No.
Flooding actually is not that uncommon. It's monsoon season.
Yeah. Well, it's not flooding. It's flash flooding. It's
yeah, it disappears very quickly.
But it's rivers that are dry 90% of the time, suddenly like fill to capacity in 2 seconds. So
all right.
So anyway, have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Buy my books.